Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. So, I've finally got some merch ready to do a merch drop. I was planning to have more available at this point, but unfortunately it's just not happened. I hope to get that done before Christmas, but it might be after Christmas. I need to get this stuff up now, obviously, because we're already in December. So I'm going to do what I can now and add stuff to the store when it's done, and I'll talk about that in a minute and future plans. But I'm going to get the meat and potatoes out of the way first for people who just want to know that this exists. So first things first, I have produced a 2024 calendar. This is all motorcycles that I rode in the past year and a bit. If you've watched my channel for a long while, you know I've done several calendars over the years. There was a couple of gaps, but I have got one for this year, and I will show you the images inside this at the end of the video, or the midpoint of the video, because some people don't want to see them. They want it to be a surprise, so I always say, that's there, I'll show you the pictures in a minute. But there is one thing I must mention, which is the first 20 are special editions, and you'll know they're a special edition because they're missing a space here. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it was missed through all of the design and printing and everything, but it was. It will be fixed after the first 20, and I'm sure it won't make any great difference to anyone, other than the fact you'll know it's one of the first 20. I also am doing the SPICY110 stickers again. These are nice vinyl cut stickers. I sold these in the past and then stopped selling them a while ago, and I've had a hell of a load of messages of people saying, when are you going to have these back? Well, now. But no, I'm not selling them permanently. This is going to be a thing where I'll do a drop and then I probably won't be selling them after this lot have gone. I was planning to have 4 different stickers out, but I've actually reduced down to 2, and it's probably a better idea anyway. So those are the SPICY110 logo ones, and I have these new ones of my DRZ. And as you can see here, they're fully customised as it says SPICY110 on the seat. This is actually taken from an image of my bike, and then one of my mates, probably British, actually turned this into this design, and it was put on coasters and stuff. We're not selling those anymore, but he allowed me to use the design to make these, and I'm very thankful for that, so thank you for that, mate. They are just white and black, and what you should also note is that unlike the SPICY110 ones which you just peel off and stick on, because there's bits that stick out, these have got a transfer paper on them. So you peel the sticker off this way onto the transfer paper, you can then place that down, rub it in, and then you peel the paper off. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but just be aware that these ones have a transfer paper, and it's better if you use it because you want to keep everything in line. Again, these are made of a nice high quality vinyl. And of course, whenever I do a merch drop, I have to do this. I have made some more of my motorcycle chain keychains. These are real motorcycle chains. They were not used, but they are real. They have been cleaned within an inch of their life. They have been polished, as you can see, and they're very cool. I've sold loads of these over the years, and people love them because they're good for your keys. They're also good little fidget toys. The only thing I will say, and I always say this, do not use these on your bike keys because they are a real piece of steel. And if it gets, you know, moving around on your dash, you could scratch things up. These are ideal for door keys, back door keys, you know, a key for your garage or something like that. Something that, you know, you just want a decent sized keychain that you know it's there. And it's not so easy to lose. These are absolutely great. Grab them. I think I have about 60 of these, maybe a few more, but that is it. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'll show you through the images now, and then I'll show you the things I've been working on and stuff I will be selling in the future, which is totally unrelated to this. It's actually products which I've been putting a lot of effort into learning and making good. You'll see. Okay, so if you don't want to know what's in the calendar now, then skip forward until you see this go away. Okay, they're gone? Right. Something I did this year that I haven't done previously is I'm doing the images 16 by 9. They used to be printed full top to bottom, and I didn't like the way that they, you know, they were cut into by things and the hole was, you know, in the image, things like that. And I think this just looks cleaner and nicer. So the image is laid out like this, and then the month planner looks like that underneath for each month. So now I'll go through and show you the images. So January, we have a Zontes 125 that I reviewed from Andy Sills. That was a good fun bike. February, that is the Suzuki 1000 GT that I reviewed from Hazelmen Motorcycles. Then for March, we have a Sinis SMXE, which is a 125cc, you know, off-road fun 125 bike. Not just off-road, can be used on the road. Reviewed that from Sinis. All of these have got videos on them, obviously, that connect to them. Come on. April, we have the Suzuki DL 800 DE. Great fun bike, got a video on that, and just recently reviewed the RE, the road going version. So that's April. May, we have the Suzuki 8S, or the Dash 8 as I was calling it. Very cool looking bike. This is the actual one that I reviewed. That's May. Then June, we have the Energica Xperia that I also did a review on, thanks to English Electric Motorcycles. And this thing is incredible. You've got to watch that series. I also railed, well, this bike's like 30 something grand, okay? I railed this through a nasty pothole. Thankfully, I didn't do any damage. Then for July, we have a Zero FX. Again, another great fun bike, took that green naming. And I thought this was a really cool image, and it shows how cool it is as a... I know some people don't like electrics, but it's a cool looking bike. And actually, this is now a military bike. They make a military version called the MMX, and it's basically just toned down a bit, and it's all in black, and yeah, interesting. Then for August, we've got to have a Derek. Derek, in his prime, looking fantastic. It's actually snowing right now. Looking at this dry grass, it's like, oh, I do miss the summer. So that was August. So for September, we have the RGNT, or Regent. Sorry, it's RGNT. Number 1. That was an electric classic. That was a great fun bike. Really great performance. Way above 125 speeds and power, but on a 125 license, like on a CBT. And for October, we have the Yamaha Thundercat that I took out from Andy Sills again. Thanks to Andy Sills for all the help you've given me in the past year or so. That was a great fun bike, great video too. That's October. Then for November, we have the Honda CBR 500F in... It turns out, right, we had a disagreement argument about if this is green or yellow. Technically, by their coding, this is a yellow. Very greeny yellow, but it is technically a yellow. And then finally for December, there is the Daytona T595 that I reviewed from Andy Sills. What a retro bit of kit that is. That, again, video you should watch. If you've not seen any, every single one of these bikes has got a video related to it. So that's why they're in here. It shows the story of what I've been up to. And as I mentioned previously, the first 20 special editions with this missing. Calendar's gone. You can come back. Are they back? Hello, everybody? Yes? Right, good. So all of the things I've shown you, I can send worldwide. And the price that you see for your country is the price you pay. Basically, I've included shipping in it. And I've tried to make shipping abroad more fair, so I'm not making as much from them. But I know the shipping is expensive, so I've tried to take a bit of the blow myself, to be fair. Right, so one of the things, as I previously mentioned, that I should have been selling by now was some handmade leather key tags with my logo branded into them. Well, things have evolved, and what we're actually going to be doing is laser cutting them and engraving them out of leather, and then I'm hand stitching them together. It's a way I can make the price a bit cheaper, because otherwise it's going to take a long time to make them. But I did need to make a couple as a test run so I can show you what they'll look like when they're done. So the basic design is this. It's leather, it's hand stitched, it's got a clip on it. Very solid, although it will give over time. And this will last, you know, forever. It's real leather, handmade, everything's done and finished properly. However, I did notice with the original design that I went a bit too far with it, and I also pushed this leather a bit far because of the thickness, and it actually had a slight crack in the surface here. That's not going to actually affect the strength of it, it's just it's not as good as I'd like. So I adapted the design. As you can see now that that cross line's been brought down a little bit, that's meant the leather's got less of a turn on it, it's much more happy. So this is basically the form factor of what they will be when I sell them, but they'll be SPICY110 engraved in the panels with laser. If you look closer, you can see how the edges have been rolled over and finished. This is all done by hand by me, again. These will go on sale when they are cut and I've sewn them together. Unfortunately, just wasn't possible to get that done in time for Christmas. And I've got to get this stuff going because obviously the calendars have got a bit of a limited time. So that's one of the things I'm going to be doing leather-wise, and I will be selling those. Well, I'm going to be doing batches. The first batch will go, depending on how quickly they go, I may do another batch. But yeah, that's going to be very much a on and off thing. So when they're there, like with all my things, if you want it, grab it. Because I get emails from people all the time saying, you know, oh, I saw you were selling that like a month ago. Have you got any left? And it's like, no, that's why the listing's not up anymore. Grab it while it's there. Okay, something else that I've been working on for a while that's connected to the leather stuff is something that I will be selling in the future continuously. And I'm going to make different ones out of different leathers and stuff. And I may only make one a month or two a month or a couple a month or whatever. They'll go on the Etsy store and that'll be that. So you've got to grab them when they're there. Okay, so it is a wallet type thing, but let me explain how I got to this point. So this wallet here is a leather wallet that I was given 20 years ago, and I've used it every day of my life for 20 years until recently. And as you can see, I don't even think this is real leather, or if it is, it's very thin, but this lasted, I mean, it doesn't look 20 years old, that's actual 20 years of daily use. Leather is an amazing material. If you're okay with leather. If you're not, no, I'm not doing fruit leather. Sorry. As you know, I tried the Ridge style wallets, which I'm not a big fan of, and you can see why, because you can get 5 of them for the cost of one of theirs. But I didn't like it because it was so difficult to get your cards out with motorcycle gloves on. And this is something that's really confused me. They get sold through so many motorcycle related channels, yet they are actually no real use to bikers if you keep your gloves on when you go in a shop. So I wanted to make something that was small, could carry your cards, and you could use with your bike gloves on. I also did some research and found out that about 60% of you never use cash, or very, very rarely use cash. So there is no cash pocket in these. This is it. Very simple. This is actually my wallet. I've been using this now for a month, I think. Don't worry about the stitching being not perfectly straight. I'm still practicing, and that's one of the things. I'm not going to start selling these until I'm happy with the product. Although obviously I have to understand that handmade stuff is not machine-made stuff, and it's not going to be dead straight every single time. Maybe it gets better in the future as I get more practice, but anyway, the idea of these wallets is that it's perfect for a biker. Look how much smaller than that wallet is. This is empty. This has 4 cards in it. It's smaller in nearly all ways. Well, it is smaller, well, it's about the same length, but it's much narrower, thinner, and I can carry all 4 of the cards that I need to carry with me in here. And obviously they're easy to grab out because you can fold your fingers around, even with gloves, to pull these cards out. So the leather I've used for this, and I think I'm going to use for all of them because I really like it, is this type of leather, which this is mine. You can see it's slightly polished up here, and it's got a few marks and stuff because I've been using it, and that's one of the lovely things about leather, is that it weathers. When it starts out though, it's this sort of matte, soft finish, and as I say, over time it polishes up. This is actually the very first one I made, and as you can see, I've changed the design and made it a bit smaller because I didn't like how much extra space was in the middle here. And as you can also see, I totally missed a stitch there and got it in the wrong place. It's so easy to mess something up like this up, and it's so much work. But again, I have to remember these are handmade. These are not mass produced. But no, I wouldn't go with the stitch out that far out. That was a proper mistake on my side. I've also made them out of a different type of leather. This is your more traditional leather. Really nice. I really like these. This one has been hand pricked, as in all the holes are done by hand and stitched like that. This one's used a type of stamping fork, you might want to call it, which actually puts diagonal cuts in, so you end up with a sort of a zigzag pattern in the thread. I am thinking that the white looks better than the black, but I think many people will be 50-50 over it. So what do you prefer, the black or the white contrasting? And do you prefer this sort of zigzag pattern, or do you prefer the straight stitching? Not that that might have any great relevance on what I end up doing, but just, I'd like people's opinions. But yeah, that's exactly the same product as mine. But as I say, I think I'd rather make them out of this leather. It's also softer and more supple. It just feels nicer. These feel nice. It's just it's harder leather. I mean, if you want to buy a couple of them, you can. So I'm really happy with these so far. I love this wallet. I love it to bits. And when I'm at the point that I feel happy enough that I want to sell them, I will be selling them. Now, note, leather is not cheap to buy. These take a few hours each to make over the course of time because there's processes to it. The process of making these is cutting them out by hand, pricking all the holes. You then have to, finish the edges of the leather, stick everything together, stitch it, polish it, do the. There's a lot of work in making something which actually looks quite simple. But if you look online, you'll see how much hand-stitched leather wallets are. I'm hoping to be a little bit more competitive than that, but still fair to myself. There's no point me doing this and giving them away for free. But yes, I do think I'll be making future ones in this type of leather. It's just, as I say, it's just softer and nicer, and it polishes over time and looks cool. This does come in many different colours. So what I'll be doing is buying, some different colours, making wallets. They'll go on the store when they're on the store, and if people wish to buy them, they can. But as I say, I'm going to finalise, things about how I make them before I get to that point. I know some people are going to say, I'd like it to have a cash slot. As I said, I've done my research. Most people aren't interested in that. And looking at the popularity, like the Ridge wallets, which don't really carry cash, and they have a money clip, I'm coming up with another design which has an extra pocket behind here, so you can fold a note and put it in there if you want to carry cash in an emergency. But I'm probably not going to be designing, you know, one like this. I like simplicity and it being smaller. I'm going to make one of the extra pocketed versions of this soon as a mock-up and see how I go. As I say, I'm not selling these immediately. These are just ones that I've made as practice runs to, you know, hone my skills, as it were. And it's not until I'm fully happy with them that I will be selling them. Sorry if I waffled on too long there, but yes, stickers, keychains, calendars available right now while they last. In the future, I will have the SPICY110 key tags made out of leather, but that's not going to be for at least a couple of weeks. Maybe slightly longer, it depends. Christmas, oh God, I'm going to keep saying the C word, but that's coming and I've got a lot to do. Oh, the clocks. Because of the problems I've had with my back, I know I mentioned my back was feeling better, it turned into sciatica, which is only just starting to fade a bit now, and I haven't been able to do any more time on them. It's just been silly, because every time I tried to do that, I just ended up hurting myself and losing more time. So making these is something I can do in a much warmer environment that's more comfortable. I will finish those 4 clocks. I want to get to clock 100 because I'm at 96. I'm making those last 4 to get to 100 and that'll be done. Don't say 110. I know you're going to say, oh, doesn't it naturally end at 110 because you're SPICY110 and you've just hit 110,000 subscribers. No, I'm not making 14 clocks. But I might make 14 wallets. Thank you very much for watching and thank you for the support if you wish to grab some of that merch now. Or you can alternatively support me through Patreon. Links in the description. You get some benefits from that too. Until next time, bye-bye.